This is Steve from Boxing UK. Absolute pleasure to be joined by Johnny Nelson. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good, man. Johnny, loads to talk about this week. Only one place to start, though, mate. You got called out this week.
By Glenn. What's he playing at? You know, I missed it because I saw him talking about fighting Holyfield. So I put one of those emojis on. But I didn't see the response. Well, I just left it. I thought, and then I got a few missed calls from him. And then eventually answered in the afternoon. Obviously, he thought I saw the response that I'd written. I just left it. And he said, look, don't slag off my fight with Holyfield. That's almost a done deal. And then when I've done him, I'll do you. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, I'll do you. We can do this. We can finally get it on. I went, all right, Glenn. All right. I said, you sure about that? He said, yeah, no, I'll support you. And then I looked on Twitter and what he'd written. I thought, no. That's why I said, be yourself. I'll eat you alive. When we worked together, what happened was, because we almost fought each other as when we were professional, when we worked together, they always compared, as it were, saying who would win. And Glenn had always gone mad. No, they've done it. I'm going to do it. Why were they, you know? Yeah. So I think it was just to wind him up. So I think in his head, he's probably thinking, I'll do him. I will smash his teeth in. Well, let's see how far it goes. But it'd be good. It'd be interesting. I said, listen, I'll offer him I'll offer him my services as a sparring partner if he wants, if the Holyfield one comes off.
Would you take him up on an offer though, Johnny? Because I remember not too long ago you were thinking about coming back.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But listen, you've got to stay in your lane. I'm an old man. You know, it's a young man's sport, but I'm fighting another old man. Of course I would. Of course I would. Yeah. So it's just, I think we all think we can still fight in our head, but in reality, our bodies just said, don't write checks you can't cash. So that's the reality of it. And you saw the other night with Roy and Mike what they did. They basically body sparred for 8 rounds, and I know, you know, your pace goes. I still go down to Winkerbank now and spar with the boys, and it doesn't matter how much I know. It doesn't matter how much I know. These guys, they've got pace of youth, and it's frustrating, but it's the pyramid of the gym. So the guys who used to kick ass, they're going to kick your ass eventually. So you've got to put your ego in check to say, you know what, I can accept it. So, and I love it. Kid Galahad, Liam Williams, Willie Hutchinson, all of them batter me. But I'm loving it, man. It's all right. It's just, when I go in the boxing club in Winkerbank, it's the only place that feels like home, no matter what, even more than my own home. It feels so natural.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to touch on, might as well do it now, Johnny, was that fantastic piece you did for Sky on the Black Lives Matter and the importance of the Winkerbank. What a fantastic piece of ET that was, mate.
Yeah, you know what? He's just saying it how it is. Unfortunately, I had an amazing mentor in Brendan, and he's just repeating what Brendan told us. And again, they talk about multiculturalism, and I just said our gym was multicultural 40 years ago. It's like it's a new thing now, and I don't think our gym could have been our gym without Brendan. I honestly don't. I couldn't have done it. Not anybody could do it, but he managed to get. He called it his pots. It's politically incorrect, this, but he called it his pot of licorice all sorts, and we'd all laugh. But you had everybody, black, white, Asian, travellers, able, disabled, male, female, every religion going in the gym, but we all talk the same language. And in doing that, and we're in the gym, we might have fought like brothers and sisters in the gym, but when we came out of the gym, we were like a pack of wolves. We always supported one another, and that's why the gym flourished, and that's why a little place like that, I think Brendan produced 4 world champions, 6 Commonwealth, 8 European, 12 British in that little gym. So he always said, once people say it's lucky, twice they'll say, but when you keep turning them out, it means some system's working. So it's not just about hitting a bag and how many press-ups and how fast you can do a run. It's about that. And that's what we were taught. So when I did that thing on Sky about Black Lives Matter, I basically probably repeated what Brendan had taught me and taught many others in the gym. And I was just one of his students. I was just passing on what he said.
Fantastic, Johnny. Johnny, it's a few days after the event, Dubois Joyce. Don't want to linger too much on the obvious, but do you feel the whole thing about Dubois quitting's overshadowing Joe Joyce's performance?
Yes, but I think so. So Joe Joyce, he's strong. He had a stiff jab. He's not fast. He's not like a butterfly in the ring. But what he had was enough to be Daniel Dubois. You look at the amateurs, you look at the professionals, you look at the caliber of opponent that both fighters had, and on paper, it's Joe Joyce's. I couldn't believe it was like 7-1 in favour of Dubois before the fight. And and I call it a bullshit machine. And I'm not saying like one promoter. All promoters do it. They've got to bullshit you into believing in their product, to say our man can do this. Listen, I was bullshitted about Nelson, whatever, but you've got to back it up eventually. So with Dubois, because we saw how successful he was as an offensive fighter, when it came to him performing as a defensive fighter, he was found wanting. He was getting hit by an amateur-style jab that snapped his head back and wasn't able to move out of the way of it. He had a gut check because now he was in the ring with somebody that was actually hitting him back. And so it's about building your caliber of opponents of all shapes and sizes. And you do that, then what happens is you're ready when you get to the top. Because what if you beat Joe Joyce? Then he's in deep. And he's got little experience in regards to fighting fights that fight you back. And so the first fight that really fought him back and went in there with some intention to try and proper win, that could bang, that made him ask questions of himself, he was fine wanting. When they talk about him quitting, yeah, he quit. And it's a harsh thing to say. And the reason why, it was a man of the quit. Now Kell Brook was accused of quitting. So you look at the manner of the quit. Yeah. So Kell Brook was on the back end of a shellacking, and then got hit. Whoa, eyes gone. With Dubois was actually ahead on the points on some judges' scorecards, and he was actually giving it more than he was taking it. But then when he got hit, the manner of what he did, he stepped back, like looked at his corner, got his eye, and then went down on one knee. So then that was a conscious decision. It wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. A knee-jerk reaction is if you're bitten by a dog, your knee-jerk reaction is drag your hand away, but then the dog's going to rip your hand. Whereas if you keep your hand there, the teeth will sink in, but it won't hit as much and it won't rip as much. But you're going to do what comes natural, instinctively. So Dubois' actions seemed more preconceived, considered before he actually did it. Some say he could have gotten his back foot and got out of the way, for a couple more rounds. And that's why he's getting so much stick. You've got to give a guy a break because it's instincts. And there's many fighters that said, nah, go down on my shield, I'll be out. Bullshit. Because when you're hitting your head and someone's literally breaking the bones in your head, that's what it is. Nothing prepares you for that. Yeah. You can be prepared for a black eye, a broken nose, a bust lip, cauliflower. You can be prepared for that. Little wobble on the chin, but nothing prepares you for a bone cracking in your head. And so when you get that feeling, when that hits you, think it's a foreign experience, and then you put it into perspective and think, you know what, nothing's worth this. Nothing is worth this, and that's what he did. He's young, he's naive. I do want him to right this wrong, and as in regards to getting back on the horse, getting back in again, getting with a fighter, because every fight now is going to be harder for him because everybody thinks he's got quit in him. I do want him to get back involved in it again, because if he doesn't, it'll affect every aspect of his life, not just in boxing. Mm-hmm. I mean his personal life, I mean his family life, I mean his outlook on life, how he is with people. I know that. So this is a crucial time where he needs to have, someone needs to have his ear, what he listens to, respects, and has an impartial opinion that's best for him. I gather I'm hearing his father's very, very, very controlling of that environment, and maybe that made him a little naive of what's out there, of what's going on out there. And he just, I can remember Brendan saying to me, you're not going to do anything until you move out of your mum's house. You're a mummy's boy. I'm like, no, I'm not a mummy's boy. He said, Johnny, you're a mummy's boy. I told my mum. She was pissed off that he said that, but yeah. But I was a mummy's boy. But what my point was, I didn't grow up. I didn't accept the responsibilities of an adult until I had to. Until I wasn't under my mum's wing. Until I didn't have, you know, I couldn't think like a kid and think, there's no consequences for me. Daniel Dubois has to grow up. And it's not just about giving, it's about taking. And there was some basics, fundamental basics that were ignored. And so now the flack he's getting from the public, it's not like you going to work and you're messing up at work and your boss says you did shit today. And the bollocking's done that day. In boxing, you get a bollocking every day because you don't bump into all your fans in one day. So you might bump into one in 2 weeks' time, or every day someone said, yeah, I saw you box, you quit, you're crap. And that's the hard thing about our game. You've got to be so thick-skinned because everybody thinks they're Angelo Dundee. And so you've got to be able to take the flag.
How damaging do you think the quit stigma could be, Johnny? Because obviously a lot of people talk about Kel's injury, but Ahara Davies is the one that comes to our mind. Because even now, the Josh Taylor fight's the fight that gets rolled out time and time again whenever Ahara's... Yeah.
So every time Daniel Dubois boxes now, from this point on, this is going to be mentioned. He quit. He got stopped, but he got quit. They're not just saying he got stopped against Joe Joyce. He quit. That's what they'll say. And it's going to affect his any opponent that gets in with him. They'll think, if I keep the pressure on you, and I'll break your heart. Because that's what we think. It's like getting a good body shot in. You know you've hurt someone. You keep hunting that body because you think, if I get it again, I've got you. And so with Joe, he's got to grow up big. His dad sent him away to be a sparring partner with the heavyweights in Germany or abroad. So he wants it. So he decides whether he wants it or not. Send him away where he's on his own, where he's got to stand on his own 2 feet. Because then with that maturity comes pride, self-belief, self-confidence. And then what you and I say doesn't mean jack shit. But right now, what you and I say will absolutely be killing it. Because he's never had it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it's a harsh lesson.
It is. Kind of loaded question. It has split a lot of people, but what do you think of the whole Frank Warren Eddie Hearn spat that they're having over it? Because that seems to be going back and forth now.
Well, I tell you, Frank used to be my promoter, and I think Frank was one of the best promoters out there. He understood that side of the game. If I'm honest, I was disappointed in Frank, which is probably hard to say because he did something that I thought wasn't very cool. It wasn't very classy. Frank. It's like and that something is when Dillian White got turned over.
Yeah.
And Frank, he publicly mocked him, kind of sung a song, taking a piss. And I'm like, Frank, man, you're bigger than that. Leave that to the boys. Leave that to the kids doing that. Why'd you do that? And so now the flack that Dubois is getting is actually aimed at Frank, but Dubois a buffer. So when people are slagging down Dubois and saying mean, hurtful things, you've got to remember he's someone's son, he's someone's brother, he's someone's mate, he's someone's cousin. So when they say these hurtful things, yeah, they might say, yeah, he's Dubois this, but they're kind of trying to get at Frank and say, yeah, you tried to sell us this, and look, you've been exposed. Aha! And so this spat between Eddie and Frank, I just think, you know what? Dillian White put a post out and he said Karma's a bitch. And that was aimed at Frank. And I just thought, I was disappointed, if I'm honest. I was disappointed because I thought, Frank, you're better than that. You know, that's not you. So you know what? The spat, you get what you dish out. You dish it out, you're going to get it back.
Can we quickly move on, Johnny? A few quick ones, topical. Jarrell Miller, 2-year ban.
And wait, they might backdate it as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, I suppose it's like I'm trying to see. I suppose it's like busting the speed limit and being told to go on the speed awareness course instead of taking the 3 points and paying you £60 fine. You know, come on. I think for Miller, reminds me of Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson failed the drug test, and he thought he won't do it again. He failed it again. Did it again. Miller is in a position where what promoters are going to trust him? Because if you're advertising Jarrell Miller's fighting and you've got him a big fight coming in, like what happened the last time, he thought he's cleaned his act up now. Again, it wasn't what he took; it's what he didn't take. So promoters now got to think to themselves, can I invest in this guy? So unless he has him sleeping in the bed next to him and keeps an eye on him, then I just think it's going to be tough.
Do you think he should be done in the sport, Johnny?
It's hard. Listen, if it was, he's got to pay the price. Unfortunately, the respect is not there. Unfortunately, the respect is lost by a lot of fighters and fans. Unfortunately, he's going to always fight under a shadow. And even if he achieves something, say if you win a world title, they're not talking about this guy being champion of the world. They're talking about this guy being a prolific drug cheat. Yeah. And that's what you want. And listen, I don't know all the ins and outs of it. And he says there's a reason for him failing twice. I hadn't heard it yet. I'm sure he'll do it in his autobiography. But yeah, he's actually an all right guy. I just think he opted to cheat. And I've boxed 4 drug cheats in my career. 2 of them were found guilty. I knew the other 2 were drug cheats, but you can't accuse them and say, yo, you're on drugs. Because you can tell when you're fighting them, you can tell what they're doing. Now, unless the consequences are dire, like, you know, your criminal consequences, you know, because really, if I'm taking the performance-enhancing drugs and I want to do you, and we get in a fight, and I'd hurt you, and I kill you, that means it's preconceived. This is what I've planned. I've cheated. So if there's criminal proceedings taken against people that do that, on top of that, might make him think twice about it. But I just think for Miller, he's actually a nice guy. He actually, away from boxing, seems a nice guy. I've talked to him a couple of times. I just think he's stupid.
Agree. Tyson Fury, Johnny, nominated for Sports Personality of the Year, and he's been asked to be removed from the nominations.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
So I can understand it because so the Sports Personality of the Year, that event, I think the youngsters now don't know what Spotty is. I think Sports Personality, I can say this because I'm never going to get voted for it, so I can say it. I think the problem is the voting system. So what is sports personality? Is it on achievements? Is it on your personality? Is it on, what is it on? What is the judging transparent? People don't know what we're judging for, because sometimes people, when you think, who's that? Yeah. Where the popular consensus is he should win it. So who makes these decisions? So it's like watching a fight, and somebody's blatantly won, and you pick the other guy. Of course, it's going to turn you off our sport. So sports personality. It's happened. I've seen. I'm like, who votes for it? Who voted for him over him? That's number one. Number two, I can remember they had Anthony Joshua there. They had Tyson Fury there, and they gave these guys the impression that you're going to win. Yo, you've got a good chance. I'm afraid you've won. And listen, it's a slog. So you go down, you think, I can do without it. Yeah, shy. So you go down for a night out if you've got time, and you think, all right then. But it's a slog. But to get the big names down, you got to call to me. Yeah, you might get this. You might get it. They're pissed off. So it's basically saying, yo, count me out because I ain't going to turn up. But again, what is the judging on? What is it on? How did he do it? I don't get it. I just don't understand. And I think the public's like that as well. So Tyson Fury saying now, stick it. They still keep sports personality. They still keep him as a contender. But then, what is it on? Is it on his performance, beating Tyson, beating Deontay Wilder? Is it on what he's done for mental health, the awareness? Or then what about Lewis Hamilton breaking all records of his achievements? What about Rashford? Rashford hoping to change public opinion about school meals. What are we judging it on? What is it for? So make it transparent. So because if it smells like fix, it's probably fix. If it smells like a political move, it's probably a political move. So people just think, I think it. Because people when we find like, am I that much out of touch? Who is that? You know, that's what happens.
Couple on yourself, Johnny. Fight bubble. Just the difference between an ordinary fight night, like we were saying before we started filming. We've met you at dozens of shows. What's it like without all of us lot there?
Oh my God, it's like Adam Smith likes it because he went to private school where they sleep over, right? So it's like I'm not very good around a pack of fellas for too long. I'm all right. We'll go in, I'll hit and run, and then I'll come out. I'll do my thing. But it's prison. You are stuck in there. You go in, COVID test. You can't come out. You've got to eat together. You congregate together in a certain room. You're just stuck with the same people 24/7. Now it's all right at first, and sometimes they've done some stuff like karaoke. I can't wait for karaoke next week. I'm on it. But I just think it's not easy. And plus spices, I could be fighting you and sat on the next table next to you. I don't want to see my opponent. You know what I mean? I want to be hating him by the time I get in the ring. Aye. So it's very strange. And I think so far, both of the big promoters have done a great job in bringing the fights back and getting fights on. So, but it's very strange. It is very strange.
Lovely. And this part with the plug, Johnny. Seeing as you've given us your time, get on it. We've actually seen it, mate.
I forgot about myself. But it's actually doing really well, surprisingly. So basically, it's a home workout. It's basically stuff that we warm up on as professionals in the gym, just a shadow box. And you're going through rounds, round after round after round. It's something you can do at home. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with a mate. But it's a great workout. And 12 rounds of boxing. And we're with you. Me and Spencer Oliver are with you all the way through. And it's a good workout. And again, especially with times uncertain as how they are now, people they don't know what to expect. They don't know if the gyms are open. They don't want to go to the gym. But they want to work out. Everybody's clapped some weight on in this lockdown. I went to 19 stone. Can you believe that?
Really?
But then it was Spencer's idea about this. Get on it, and genius. It was genius. I went, come on, let's do it. So it's doing pretty well. It's doing better than what I thought.
Come on, it's got you in some kind of shape for Glenn.
Yes, it's got me in shape for Glenn. I bet he's working on that. He's probably doing the workout himself. I beat you on your own workout. So So listen, good luck to Glenn. If it comes off with Evander Holyfield, good luck to him. I actually think he's mad, but good luck to him. The only reason why I said I'll do it because it's Glenn. but I don't know. But then you can argue. Mike Tyson reportedly got 7 million. Roy Jones reportedly got 3 million. If you can still earn that in your 50s from a sport that you retired on 15 years ago, good on you. So I ain't knocking him.
You'd have to get Snoop Dogg to commentate on it though, Johnny.
Oh, he's wicked. He was wicked. So Snoop, when he was doing the commentary with Sugar Ray, talking to Sugar Ray Leonard, what do you mean, Sugar Ray? Yeah, there's two things about, there's one thing about boxing. No, there's two things about boxing. You can't play boxing, and what was the other thing he said? Two things you can't do. Oh, yeah, two things you can't do. Can't play boxing, and you can't play pimp. And I'm like, he's wicked. They should sign that guy up because he's funny. He's so funny. Can't play.
When's your next commentary stint, Johnny?
Pardon?
When's your next commentary stint?
Tomorrow night, Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Martin Murray. and then I'm in the bubble all week in preparation for the AJ fight.
You're going to use that line, are you?
Pardon? I am going to try and slip it in. I am going to try and slip it in. You don't play it. Because I can't. He said it, so I can say it. Can't play it. Batson and pimping. And then we walk up with a pair of heels with like a goldfish swimming in. Glass heels. And then I took the hat. So, yeah.
Oh, mate, pay good money to see that.